we go. What's up, Melanated family? This is your boy Harrison, your host of the show. This is the Melanated Convo podcast. I'm happy to have everybody back for another week. And of course, like I promised, we got a fire interview lined up for today on the show. I have a sister named Shaquanda Cotton who went through a terrible situation in Paris, Texas. The sister wrote a book about it. So we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this information here in a minute. Again, thank you for tuning into the show. If you are listening to this on one of the digital platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, all of them, make sure you hit that like, or I'm sorry, make sure you leave a review. If you're listening to it on a digital platform, you can help me out by leaving a review of the show. Tell me what you think of the show. So I welcome you guys to the show. Any of you guys listening digitally, if you would like to see the actual video at any time, you can always go to Melanated Fathers TV on YouTube. All my YouTube subscribers, everybody that's been rocking with me, everybody watching the show right now, thank you very much for riding with me as my channel continue to grow. You feel me? So if you're watching it in video form on YouTube, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Melanated Fathers TV YouTube channel. Like on that channel, like I always say, I've kind of changed it up just a little bit so you can find this show, the Melanated Convo podcast, and you can also find the History Matters section where I talk about different times in history, people in history, places in history, just so we can get a clear understanding of, what we've been through to help us understand where we're going. You feel me? So I'm excited, man. Let's get everything popping. As I always do on the show, the first segment of the show is dedicated to Black businesses. If you care about your people, I see a lot of people online all the time. You see travesties in the community. You see police brutality. You see us getting fucked in the criminal justice system. You don't like all of this stuff. Well, one of the ways you can help us out is by supporting Black businesses. One of the ways that you can kind of circumvent how we're treated in this country is if we all kind of unified mentally and create our own Black Wall Streets. We spend a lot of money with people outside of our community, and I'm not telling you to stop buying your Gucci and shit. Just, take a little bit of that bread and buy something from someone who looks like you. Not only are you going to help their family, but in actuality, you're going to help the whole ecosystem, which is the Black community. You feel me? So let's get everything popping with the Black. Oh, before I go to the Black businesses, I don't typically talk about any more news stories and shit on the show, but I want to give this brother a shout out really quickly. Shout out to the brother Kyrie Irving for standing on his square, right? This is like a Muhammad Ali moment, a Colin Kaepernick moment, if you will. You know what I mean? Because I got kind of pissed off. I'm watching Stephen A. Smith's coon ass speak about my brother and the fact that he don't want to take a damn vaccine. So his team, he's employed by an organization that's telling him he needs to take a vaccine to play. He like, fuck that, I don't want to. That inspires me. Like standing on your own too, it inspires me to the fullest degree. Stephen A. Smith, like he always do, this goddamn coon nigga went on his platform and he's calling Kyrie stupid and talking down to him. I can't fucking stand Black men who treat other Black men this way. Now listen, if you think he should get the vaccine to play a damn game, sure, you're a commentator. Your job is to speak on sports. Say that. Say, brother, my opinion is you need to, but this nigga here gotta go, he's stupid. He's just stupid. Like, nigga, fuck you. Look, Black people, everybody listen to the sound of my voice. Make sure you're in your kids' lives. Make sure your children, this is why history is so important to me. This is why our history is so important to me. Don't raise no goddamn coon. Now listen, I understand that some of us have to work in corporate America. There's nothing wrong with having a job in corporate America, having a white boss. This is just the structure that we're under. I say get a goddamn business, but whatever. If you want to work for a company, cool. Do that shit. But learn how to shut the fuck up. If I'm working in a position where I know I'm like a revolutionary thinking Black man, right? I say no comment before I coon, right? I like that statement. Say no comment before you coon, goddammit. Because I'm watching Stephen A. Smith as he always do. This no hairline having nigga. You coming at, this is just stupid. His whole everything is about his white bosses. Everything for him is appeasing white mommy and daddy. Black folks, don't raise your kids to be ass kissers. We live in a society where we're 13%, 14% of the population, but it's 50% of us in the prison system. The prison system, the school system is fucked up, as me and the sisters going to talk about here in a minute. We're at war with this system and have been since we got here, right? We still ain't got our reparations for all the shit that's going on. So I'm not even telling you, if you don't want to be a revolutionary black person where you're always speaking up and speak, cool. Support black businesses. Do shit on the under. But when topics come up, when you have such a big platform as Stephen A. Smith does, and topics come up that can sway the mentality of our people, figure out an articulate way to say no fucking comment. If I don't want to take a vaccine, listen, I'm 41 years old. Since I've been alive, I've seen nothing like corona. Not the deaths, because other diseases kill people just as much as the corona. Just the push to get us vaccinated, the push to control our society to a degree. If you're a person who's vaccinated, cool. If you decide not to get vaccinated, cool. I'm not going to come at you either way, but being skeptical of America should be common practice for anybody with fucking melanin, right? They lie about everything. Columbus Day was just the other day. This nigga's a goddamn liar. He didn't discover America. Thanksgiving's coming up. Bullshit, right? Even though I am having my 3rd annual Thanksgiving dinner for the community because I love my people, even though I don't fuck with the holiday. You know what I mean? But don't be like Stephen A. Smith. That's the moral of the story. Raise your kids to be black men with backbones. Because listen, in 1804, and I always say this, it's kind of funny to me, but whatever. In 1804, when the Haitians won that war against the French and all these other white folks, the first thing they did, right? And then I'll move on to my businesses. The first thing they did that helped them win that war is they got rid of all the coons. They were smart. They said, wait a minute. Because you got to think about it. In slavery, over 100 and something slave revolts were thwarted because niggas wanted butter biscuits. You feel me? Niggas was scared. You see what I'm saying? So to win a war, like if we ever get into some revolutionary shit, the coons in the fence centers gotta go first. So that's all I say about that. Fuck Stephen A. Smith. And I try to make it a point not to come on my platform and dog other black men. I don't know what men be going through. I don't want to throw you under the bus, especially if I can reach out to you and talk to you. But he gets on his platform, which is public. So if he's publicly going to talk about this shit, we can publicly address what he's saying. You know what I mean? So all bullshit to the side, he's absolutely wrong. Kyrie should have the right to do this. And this man has given up, I think, almost $40 million a year. If that ain't a man, what the fuck is, right? If that ain't integrity, what is? You should, on some real shit, we need to be on code. Stephen A. Smith should be able to, let's say he thinks, because of his white bosses in his situation, he doesn't want to rock. He doesn't want to rock the cradle. Cool, nigga. Say no comment, then call Kyrie on the side and be like, "Go ahead, boy, do your shit." That's how you supposed to do it, behind closed doors. So again, fuck Stephen A. Smith. Back to the scheduled program. Let's get to these black businesses. First, black business. Let me take a look here. Let me share my screen because I do a post on Facebook and other social media sites where I have people send me their information so I can support my people. Okay, let's share it. Let's see here. Let me see how it looks. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to put it on the whole screen here so you can see it. Okay. Diamond Party Rentals is the first black business for today. Diamond Party Rentals, right? And this is a business started by my sister, Tilly Burks. Now, this is a business that is serving the Yolo and Central Valley area. So this is like a Northern California business. Like I always say, if this isn't a business you can't get to because you don't live here, quite frankly, then support someone around you that does the same kind of business or use it as an idea for you, right? This may be something you want to start in your hometown, right? So Diamond Party Rental. So if you're having a party right? Like a lot of us do. And you don't want to deal with like getting the tables, setting everything up. Like sometimes we want to just focus on getting presents. We want to just focus on having fun. Sometimes you don't want to focus on all the small details, right? If that's you, then hook up with my girl from Diamond Party Rentals, where she'll bring the tables, she'll bring the tablecloths, she'll get everything popping for you. She does the event planning. So if you don't even want to have to plan the event, she'll help you take care of that. So again, she has the linen for the tables, the tents, chairs, glassware, and all of this is at an affordable rate. So again, if you don't want to have to deal with the party planning phase of getting your party popping, or you don't want to have to deal with getting tables or getting tablecloths to make everything look nice, holla at my sister Tilly Burks. This is a family-owned business. Something I want to read to you really quickly, just to give you a little information about the sister and her family, because I think it's inspiring why she started the business. So, in 2015, Diamond Party Rentals it was started in 2015. It's a small family-operated business that has become the premier party rental company in Northern California. Diamond Party Rentals' mission is to provide professional and fun rental experience. Tilly Burke started Diamond Party Rentals with the ultimate goal in mind, to show her 4 children that pursuing your passion will lead to fulfilling your dreams. Her motto is the sky is the limit. I wanted to read that part because sometimes we don't understand the effect of being a trailblazer can have on the next generation, right? The odds are, right? And this is just some real shit. If you are a business owner, mildly successful to extremely successful, and you have children watching this, 9 times out of 10, they are going to want to be business owners as well, right? So all this speaks to, because we understand how corporate America works. Shit, we live in a white world to a degree. You know what I mean? So it's important that we like go out on our own and figure out things we can do on our own. And since I'm one who has begun to do that, there's no better feeling than creating your own success. There's no better feeling than having intellectual property that nobody can take from you. You feel me? So shout out to this sister for paving a way for her children. And it looks like business is doing great for her. So please, if you're interested in having your party planned, or you just need to rent some tables, some tablecloths, she'll bring it there and do it up for you. It'll look great. You know what I mean? So please go to diamondpartyrentals.com, diamondpartyrentals.com, or you can contact the sister at 530-554-6647. Ooh, look at that right there. That's sharp right there. You know what I mean? Look at that. You know what I mean? That's not no man type shit, but a woman would love that. Feel me? Even guys, think about that, guys. If you throwing a party for your girl and she walked in and seen all this, boy, you gonna get something. Never mind. But this is nice. This is nice. This is elegant, and this is one of our sisters. So let's support Tilly Burks in her endeavors. You feel me? So next black business, because I got my sister waiting. So let me hurry up and do this so we can get to that. You know what I mean? Next black business is Char Star Home Decor and Apparel. Let me bring that on real quick. Okay, this is Char Star Home Decor and Apparel. I thought this was pretty cool. Like again, she does decorative pillows, right? So a lot of women, like again, I'm not sure if a dude would want some of his pillows looking like this, but you live with a woman, she would love this. Family, look at what she do to pillows. You know what I mean? This is pretty interesting to me because you could put your kids on a pillow, or someone you love, like someone that passed away, maybe. You know what I mean? She has really elegant pillows, and we all like, I was bullshitting about being a man or not, but you can, like, a lot of us have pillows on our couches, right? I think it makes your couch look elegant, makes your couch look comfortable. Think about if you can bling it out a little bit, you know what I mean? And if you do decorative pillows, 2 decorative pillows is $40. 4 decorative pillows is $70. 6 decorative pillows is $90. So this is the sister, Charletta Starr. Charletta Starr is the sister's name. Look at that, y'all. That's nice. You know what I mean? Fellas, you want to get your girl something for Christmas, something for her birthday, you can order some of these decorative pillows from the sister Charletta. You know what I mean? Look at that. This is actually really, really nice. Something, and actually, I've never seen a decorative pillow before. I mean, that may be just being a man, but I've never seen it before. But this is extremely nice. You can go to her Facebook page to place an order if you like, which is Shar Star Home Decor and Apparel. That's Shar Star Home Decor and Apparel. SHRSTARR Home Decor and Apparel. She has her phone number and everything on here. I think she's from the Baltimore area, but she ships everywhere, right? That's something I want to make sure everybody was aware of, because I know she isn't in California like I am, but she ships everywhere. So you can get her pillows shipped to your home wherever you are in the United States. If you place an order of $60 or more, the shipping is free. If you go to her Facebook page, you can ask her questions. She responds quickly. When I reached out to her to let her know I wanted to have her product on the show, she responded promptly. You know what I mean? So come on, man. We got to support our people trying to step outside of the box. Like, again, there's nothing wrong with having a job. Nothing wrong with working. We have to support our families and do what we have to do. But if someone has a dream, if someone has a creative endeavor that they're embarking on, that's beautiful to me. You feel me? So everybody go to Shar Star Home Decor and Apparel. Check out what the sister is doing today. The phone number is on the Facebook page. You can order yourself a pillow. If you shop with either one of these companies, please leave a good review. Please reach out to the sisters and let them know that you enjoyed their product. Tell your friends about it. You feel me? Now, to the interview. I found this sister because she had one of the more interesting stories. We understand how the prison industrial complex has treated our people. We understand how law enforcement, the public school system, we understand how we've been failed by these entities, right? So this sister has an interesting story that I just thought the family needed to know. You know what I mean? So I'm going to bring the sister on so we can get the interview popping, so I can ask her about her story, and she'll tell you guys, what actually happened. And one of the most inspiring things is she wrote a book because of her situation called Memoirs of a Teacher Slapping Bitch, which I gotta find out why the name, but the name kind of got me too. That's a great name for her books, and we'll get into her story right now. So, my sister Shaquanda Cotton, how you doing, sister?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, like I was saying, like in the intro when I was talking to you, um, going through what you went through is a travesty, but the fact that you decided to create a book and share your story with people, and hopefully your story and hearing about what happened would actually inspire other people to take their unfortunate situation. So basically, the sister was accused of shoving a hall monitor named Cleta Brownsfield at Paris High School on September 30th, 2005. In 2006, she was sentenced to up to 7 years in prison for that bullshit, y'all. Now, Judge Chuck Superville claimed that the probation was not an option, even though she was 14 at the time, y'all. She had no prior offenses or juvenile referrals or anything like that. And she actually ended up doing, I think, like a year. But let's talk to the sister about it. So, first thing I want to ask you is you're from Paris, Texas, right?
Yes. Well, I'm originally from Ardmore, Oklahoma. We moved to Paris in 99, I believe.
Okay. And do you still live in Paris now?
Yes.
Okay. So, talk to me before you explain kind of your situation. Talk to me about the climate in Paris, Texas at that time, as far as um, the racial component goes. Like, was it a real racist city?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's it's been this way since we moved here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So explain to everybody just briefly what briefly what happened on that day that caused you to be arrested.
Um, that morning started like any other morning. I either eat breakfast at school or I eat at home, and then I go to take my medication. This particular morning, Miss Brownfield was the hall monitor at the door. I went to try to make entry into the building, and she wouldn't let me in. She said I couldn't come in the building because the first bell had already rang. And so I said, okay, I walked off. And I believe there was two more girls that was with me. I turned to walk off, and as I'm walking off, I noticed a group of white girls going to the door. So I just kind of stand around to see if she was gonna let them in. And when she did, I went back to ask her why did she let them gain entry into the building, and I couldn't go to the nurse to take my medicine like I always do. And by this time, she's yelling at me, saying that I'm not coming back in the build. I'm not coming into the building. And so it's just a bunch of yelling going on because she's yelling and she's pushing backwards. I mean, she's pushing me backwards onto the people behind me. And so I want to say it was probably about the third push. I just kind of stuck my hands up and she pushed off of my hands, but my hands never extended. And from there was a guy teacher. He came out and he was going to assist in getting me out the building. And in turn, he pushed me into the middle door, and I had a contusion on my head and a laceration in my hand from where the pencil stuck in my hand from when I fell into the door.
Hmm.
At this time, I had a whole bunch of people yelling at me to go to the office, and I went to the principal's office. I sat there maybe 2 hours. They never called my mom. One of the girls that was with me actually ended up sneaking onto the phone and calling my mom and letting her know that they basically had me trapped in the office and they weren't calling my mom or they weren't letting anyone know what was going on. So once my mom made it, I showed her the cameras, which camera to ask to view where the incident happened because it took them 2 hours, to come back and say, well, we're going to call an ambulance because you hurt somebody. And I was like, I was confused because I know for one, I didn't hurt anyone. And then it had been 2 hours later, and so um, that's what I ended up ultimately being arrested for that day.
Hmm. Okay, so you're 14 at the time, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that's such a young age. All right. So when you first got to jail, like before um you got sentenced and and all that happened, like what was going through your mind as a 14-year-old when you're put in handcuffs, you're in the back of a car, what was going through your mind?
Mm, I can't really recall, but
Hmm.
if I was to take a guess, I was real naive, so I
Mm,
probably thought that this is as far as it's gonna go.
got it.
My mom's here now, and they had
Okay.
different plans.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay. So even when you went to jail, they made you, they kind of put you in a position where you knew you had to stay there. Is there a point where you got real scared, like, oh shit, I don't know what's gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Well, actually, that day, they were trying to send me to juvenile that day. They had took me and booked me in at the Paris Police Department. They were going to send me to juvenile, but the probation officer at the time requested that I be released to my mom's care. So I was able to go home with her until the trial. And so
Mm,
when the trial came around, I figured they would just tell the truth because that's what I've always known. When you go to
hmm
court, then you're sworn and you have to tell the truth. And
hmm Yep.
they
So
told lies after.
definitely, definitely. So once you got, so did the judge, because you only did like a year in jail, right?
Yeah,
So the judge actually sentenced you to 7 years, right?
yeah.
So you're in the courtroom and you hear him say 7 years. I'm sure you couldn't believe it, right? I'm just trying to put myself in that position. Being so 14, wait, 14, you were a freshman or were you in eighth grade?
I was a freshman.
A freshman in high school.
Hmm.
Damn, damn. So when you heard the 7 year sentence, like, do you remember how that made you feel or what was going through your mind?
Uh, I just busted out crying.
Mhm.
Is all I could do because I had never been away from my family.
Mhm.
Never been away from my mom, my brother. Never been in trouble, so I was really confused because I couldn't understand why they were doing this.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, being in that type of facility, because I was reading somewhere where the facility that you were in, and you can stop, you can correct me if you need to, the facility that you were in was kind of unjust, like how they treated you guys, um, as far as the different types of abuse that you had to endure. So, did you have like a horrible year being? I know just being in jail was some horrible shit, but being a 14-year-old girl, being in that type of facility, was it like? How did you feel being in there? Like, did they treat you bad? Did you have to fight people? Like, what was the environment like?
I never had to physically fight anyone. I mean, it's kind of compared to what you see on TVs, the way that they treat you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't treat you with dignity or respect or anything because they figure if you're there, you don't deserve that much.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I just kind of went in a way to, I guess, make the guards like me or make the guards treat me nice per se. Just anything that I could do to lighten the situation because
Mm-hmm.
I was confused. I really didn't know what to do. I just knew I wanted to go home.
Hmm. Now, I was reading somewhere that once you got in there, the news got around, and like I think it was Ricky Smiley and other individuals, you know, got word of what was going on with you, and thankfully, they kind of used their voices in their platform to assist you a little bit. So my question is, because I was reading this, but I wanted to kind of know from your perspective, did the protests and all of the uproar about your situation, is that what participated in you not needing to do the full 7 years?
Yes.
Mm,
I was causing too much ruckus for their town, and
yeah.
uh, I believe the seat got too hot for them.
And they had to do something.
Yeah.
That just makes me think about that. It's so fortunate that you were able to. Um, it's unfortunate you had to do a year in jail, but it's fortunate that you were able to come out of there earlier than expected. And I was driving
Yeah.
today thinking, damn, how many people didn't have a Ricky Smiley, right? How many people in jail don't have some type of celebrity advocate who
Right.
they probably in jail now for some bullshit that they didn't really do. You know what I mean? So I'm happy they were able to shed light on what the system was doing to you. Now, I also read that because of your situation, like other cases in that juvenile center, they reviewed other cases in that center to see if any of those young people were treated unfairly as well, right?
Yeah.
That's
And as a result of that, I believe it was 500 were free.
500 people.
Exactly.
Damn. Damn. So you know what? I mean, the bright side of it a little bit is you were the catalyst to kind of releasing 500 people. You know what I mean? Now, from your understanding, has that even your town and that juvenile system, have you seen any changes? Like, have you seen like any politicians or any people of authority step up to make sure young black and brown people aren't treated like that anymore?
No.
Damn. Damn,
No,
damn.
it's unfortunate, but we don't. I mean, it's just the few in the community that stands up or try to get something done. But other than that, we don't have much support
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to things like that.
Okay, and also I was reading that throughout the case, and even after newspapers, I read like some horrible fucking newspapers, like how they spoke about you, right? Like you kind of caused the problem. Like you were
Yeah.
ruining Paris, Texas, or some shit. I'm like, this is crazy. How did you and your family deal with that? Like opening up your local newspaper, or people calling you, or texting you, or showing you news articles with really just lies, like slanderous lies. How did you and your family deal with that?
Mm, after after I was released, I kind of just went in the background. So um, it bothered me, but I didn't really let it show
Mm-hmm.
that it bothered me. I've gotten this thing to where I just kind of keep going, just keep
Mm-hmm.
going, just keep going, and
Mm-hmm. Now, um, because I want to get into the book in a minute, but like ultimately, after going through that situation, do you think like it changed you at all? Did it change how you? No, okay. Let me ask you this: before that happened, like you and your family, the black folks around you, were you guys used to dealing with racism in Paris, Texas?
mm, well, my mom and my aunt Brenda Cherry, they're local activists, and
Mm-hmm.
so
Oh.
they've done activist work since we moved here,
Uh-huh.
and so yeah, that created a lot of ill will towards not just them, but towards their children as well.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, wait, wait. So you saying even before this happened to you, your mom was like a local activist in the city.
Yes,
Oh, and here I'm trying to get some perspective from my own thinking. Is Paris, Texas pretty small? Like a place where like most like everybody know each other kind of?
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, so they knew who your mama was too.
Yeah,
Oh. So I'm sure when this happened to you, your mom had a lot to do with the protest then, right? She had a lot to do with being like an advocate. She was already an advocate for her people, but some shit like this happened to her daughter. I'm sure she jumped into action.
yeah. It was actually a situation of they were going, to the schools to help with situations where, ultimately the teachers, they don't tell the truth a lot. And so
Mm-hmm.
they were going and actually digging into things, seeing what happened, and then the things that weren't true, trying to get those things removed because, that stuff follows you
Mm-hmm.
all through school and it paints a
Mm-hmm.
picture of you for the next grade, so they
Yep.
already have this perception of who they think you are just based on what comes across your file. And
Mm-hmm.
so this was actually my case was a case of pure um what do you call it? Retaliation.
Mm-hmm.
It was That's it. It wasn't I didn't go to jail for per se as they're saying I pushed the hall monitor. It was solely based on the fact that if we can't do anything to you, then we'll do the next best thing, and that's your children. And they not
Damn.
only just targeted me, they targeted my brother and they targeted my cousin, my aunt's son. Like they had to be removed from school. And I was the only one that was still left in school because I
Mm.
wanted to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the situation that happened. It was the principal that day that this happened actually told my mom that he wanted to personally see me prosecuted.
Hmm. Damn. Damn. It's so sad to hear these kind of stories. And Shaquanda, that's one of the reasons why I started my platform. Like the name of my YouTube channel is Melanated Fathers TV because I'm a black man, 41 years old. I have 5 kids. I have 4 kids by the age of like 22 years old. You know what I mean? So I was moving real fast and just being in the urban community, dealing with everything that we deal with. I began to become the man I am today, I think, when I started to read about history. And really, I think it's equivalent to like how some people find God. Like I found black people, you know what I mean? I
Mhm.
began to read about us and
You
understand
find out things for yourself.
exactly. You know what I mean? You find out things for yourself. And that motivated me to say, we still go through too much in this country. So as many
Right.
of us who can stand up and speak out, because like I was just talking about Stephen A. Smith, I was being funny with his punk ass, but that's the mentality that a lot of black men have in this country. Like we rather shut up. Like we understand the a lot of men understand the benefit of being quiet. Like if I'm quiet, I can make a lot of money. These white folks don't like me. And that's what black people have to get over. Like I think what you did was revolutionary. For instance, you could have been told to go the other way, seen the white girls going in, and still went the other way. You could have ignored. Now, of course, I didn't want you, nobody want to see you in jail, but you could have ignored that moment of rebellion where it's like, nah, you just said can't nobody go in that motherfucker. Becky just went in there. Becky just went in there. Hell no. I now look, that's I think a lot of times things change in our society when black people do that. Now, it's always the first one always get it the worst. So you end up being the sacrificial lamb to a degree where you got to go sit in jail
Yeah.
and shit. But if because think about this, if, from what I'm seeing, if that didn't happen to you, 500 youth would still be in that youth facility. They still would have been in that youth facility, but your
Yeah.
situation had to shake everything up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That reminds me of like a Muhammad Ali or any of the black men from our past who took a stance. That's why I spoke about Kyrie Irving the way that I did, because in the clip that I seen with Stephen A. Smith, they're talking about how he's going to ruin his legacy. When in actuality, if as a person your legacy is the job that you had, then I don't think you did good enough. Your legacy should be based on what you stood for. It should be
Right.
based on how you treated your family. You know what I mean? So to me, that was like some revolutionary shit that you did, and I wanted to like bring you on here to thank you for that. Like whether you realize that or not, you had to spend that little time in jail, but that incident kind of spark change. And now let me ask you this too. Like you mentioned how you seen the white girls going in and you was like, nah, I'm going too. Now that mentality to do that, did that come from like your mom being a person that stood up for her people or whatever?
Yeah. I think I got a lot of hurt in me, and
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm,
um I didn't like to be mistreated, and I felt
mm-hmm,
like if you're saying nobody can come in, then that means nobody, not Becky, not
mm-hmm.
Shaquanda, not
Nobody,
no.
damn it. Nobody mean nobody. Shit.
Right.
Now tell me, so 10 years after the incident, you decided to write a book. Now tell me because like you said, after it happened, you kind of faded to the background. Like, I'm going to just live my life. I don't want to talk about this shit. I don't want to read about it. I don't want to hear about it. What made you finally say, nah, I'm telling my side of the story?
Uh, I think it come from me finally realizing just how much damage was done. Especially after I had my own children,
Hmm.
then it kind of turned a new leaf for me because then I started paying attention to the depression spells that I was having, and um, I really felt like now is the time to start the healing process so that I'm the best I can be for my children.
Yep. Yep. And I think sometimes a way to control a situation that you've been through is to address it head on. You know what I
Right.
mean? Address it head on so you can get through it. And that book is going to be read by your kids, of course, but it's going to be read by your grandkids as well. You know what I mean? And the fucked up part, is just like I Googled your name, and it was some fair articles, but it was a whole bunch of bullshit too. So you gotta
Yeah.
imagine your kid get 15, 16 and hear about all of this, excuse me, then Google you and hear these people talking shit about you. I think that book is important. So you can tell them, no, 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 no. Don't read none of that. Read this. I'm read the story from my lips. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, how long has the book been out?
The book was published in June of this year.
June of this year. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So after releasing it, um, did it feel like a weight was off of your shoulders? Did you feel like some relief, or how did you feel after releasing the book?
Mm, I was I was still a little reserved, but
Mhm.
I feel like it did take some relief off. Um, to be able to just talk about it, it kind of helps.
Mhm.
So, and then I'm getting better each time that I do talk about it. So,
Mhm. That's good. That's good. And on my show, I've had I've done like a series where I talk to dudes or men and women who had to spend time in the penitentiary. You know what I mean? And I felt kind of the same way about them, where they probably sometimes you just want to not bring shit up. Sometimes you want to just almost forget about things. You know what I mean? But if that happens or you try to do that, it always comes back up. So you, like I said, you have to deal with it head on. And talking to these dudes about what they did in the penitentiary and how the system treated them, I can just see, and I would talk to them later. I can see how it made them feel better. Just because shit, that's why people go to psychiatrists. Like they help you, but yeah, what they really do is allow you to talk in a non-biased way. Because sometimes talking to your mama, talking to your cousin, talking to somebody you know, it's a little different than sitting down and talking to somebody you don't know really. But getting that off your chest. Sometimes we be going through shit and mentally we're going over it in our head, but we've never really said out loud what we're dealing with or how it has hurt us. You know what I mean? So
right.
yeah, so that's why I'm happy you wrote that book. Um, I wish you much success with the book as well. Now, another question. So you're still in Paris. Um, do you get treated funny? Like when you go to a store or you go different places, do they be like, there she go right there?
Yes. And I know you said you were gonna ask about the name of my book, and
Yeah.
that's actually where the name originated from. I was working at a nursing home, and one of the head charge nurses, I had missed the night of work, and she was up there telling all the other employees that I was a teacher slapping bitch and all kind of stuff. So that's kind of where that name came from. It's
That's
just going
good.
to show that even after all that time, that's still something that they grasp onto.
Mm-hmm.
And then she grasps on to what she was reading in the
Of
newspapers,
course.
and so all the
Yep.
bad things about me, even though
Yep.
she had worked with me plenty of nights, but
Yep.
she
So
still,
you, yeah.
yeah, they took all the bad things that they could from everything that was put out, and that's who they painted me to be,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much
But
to the world.
sister, brilliant title of the book. Fuck that. You take the power back from their ass. I'm gonna use the
Right.
same shit you try to do to me. I'm gonna use the shit against you, and I'm gonna make a little money while I'm doing it too. God damn it.
Right.
We live in America. Well, I think that's what white folks do all the time. Boy, they go do some shit, they write about it. They go do
Yeah.
some shit, they go through something, and they go do a goddamn workshop. You know what I mean? I'm gonna teach
Yeah.
you how to not go through this. You know what I mean? That's the American way.
Right.
Shit, don't feel bad about writing that book. Shit, write a part two. Don't feel bad about telling your story, because not only can it help you, but I promise you, some other kid, some other black kid in your city is gonna read that book or they're going to get wind of what happened to you and then find out that you had the strength to write about it, they may be in class going through something with some of these teachers and don't know who to talk to. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes as parents, Black parents, if you listen to the sound of my voice, listen to your damn kids.
Yes,
If your kid
that
come
is
home,
very important.
if your kid come home and say, Miss Smith treated me funny today, she had me in the corner. Well, she treated me like I was bad, and all the other kids was doing the same shit and they ain't getting in trouble. You got to go up to that school. You got to listen to your
You
kids
have to go
because,
see her.
yep. Because one of the biggest problems I think in the public school system, for one, they're underfunded. Two, 90% probably of the teachers are white middle class women, right? And the problem with society, like one of the reasons why white folks don't fuck with us like that, I think one of the main reasons, that's why the title of my platform is Melanin, because melanin is the difference between us and other people. The way we walk, the way we talk, the way we dance, believe it. All that shit is melanin. We're one with the sun. Everybody else ain't. You know what I mean? So they got something against us. So I think it's important for us to kind of understand that these teachers, when they see a young Black person, the way we act, the way we talk loud sometimes, like our mannerisms, the biggest problem is they don't live around nobody Black. So they go from their all white community where they say, I got one Black friend, that shit don't count, where they're not socialized to be around us. So if you get yourself in an environment where you're a teacher, where you're here with this kid for 6-7 hours, or a police officer, where you're having these interactions with Black people and you don't live around us, you don't know people that are Black like that, because America acts like we're integrated, but not really. Most of the neighborhoods in America is all Black, like the really nice neighborhoods. A lot of them is all white. If you go to the hood, it's pretty much all Black. I think a part of the reason why we have found it okay with some white folks, because we have to be around them. And because we have to be around them, you will instantly find out, okay, he full of shit, she cool, he full of shit. You're going to treat them like regular people. You're going to say, okay, some of them is cool, some of them ain't. They don't have the opportunity to do that with us. So they look on TV and they see big Black niggas like Terrell Owens, and they see T.I., and they be like, okay, you T.I. You know what I mean? They put us all in one bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's important what you did, sister. And I salute you, man. Now, through that process, like with you going to jail, you getting out, I'm pretty sure that was hard on your family, right? Because they're in the same city. So they're listening to everything that's going on and hearing how you're being talked about, right?
Right.
Now you said, now go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Now you said you had a brother. Is your brother younger than you, older than you?
He's older than me.
He's older. Did he have to go through anything? You said they took you said earlier that your brother and your cousin, they had to take them out of school, right? Because of how they were being treated?
Yeah.
And they
They
sent
had
them to.
started to target them, and so they were taken out of school.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I think that, so one thing, even though it's hella devious, one thing that white people have a handle on is they have like a code of conduct, meaning you can, and this is a small way, then I'll get into something bigger. You can get on an elevator. This is not all white folks, so don't be DMing me and shit. I don't care. This ain't all white folks, but you can get on an elevator with all white folks and they can be having a good old time. Like they can be white folks who don't even know each other really. They just met on the fucking elevator, right? You get on the elevator, they all shut up. They're like, niggers in here. You know what I mean?
I knew you was gonna say that.
I've seen it
They get
happen.
real quiet.
I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers got osmosis. You know what I mean? They know a nigger's around.
Soon as the door opens,
And they kind of give you that half smile, like, clutch your purse. Like, that purse, I take that motherfucking purse with one arm. What you clutching it gonna do? You know what I mean? And on a bigger scale, They'll say the mama out there causing trouble. Okay, you out there trying to free the goddamn slave, so to speak. All right,
Yeah.
let's go get her. Let's go get her family. You know what I mean? And that's some
Right.
diabolical shit. But black folks need to learn how to do that. We need to learn how to say, all right, everything ain't for the public. Some things we're gonna talk about behind closed doors. Sometimes, like when I see this happen to you, when I see a black man, I'm in Sacramento, California. If I see a black man get shot in Dallas, in New York, in Milwaukee, it don't matter. That's my brother. That's how I'm viewing it. You know what I mean? I don't separate us by how much money we got. I don't separate us by what country we come or um, what island we come from, because we got brothers and sisters here from Haiti and the Caribbean. We got brothers and sisters here from Africa. You know what I mean? I look at us all as one, even though some of them kind of don't from time to time, but we all need to look at each other as one and create like some sort of code of conduct that we all can conduct ourselves under, because relying on politicians, that's why I personally, and I say it all the time, I'll say it publicly, I don't give a shit. I don't really vote in the presidential election per se. The local elections, sometimes you can make a difference, but what, regardless of what old white man is in power, that shit ain't gonna change much. What's gonna change things is if we, as the people, decide we want to change shit. And that can be feeding your people, that can be creating some type of organization. But the biggest thing is just loving black people. You know what I mean? When I see somebody black doing something positive, whether I know you or not, I salute them. That's why I do the black businesses, just to show people that we're actually all in this shit together. Because Stephen A. Smith, no hairline, having ass. Let a white bitch come out and say he touched her. He'll see.
Yeah.
See, I don't like. See, I don't want to. I don't want to get my nigga wake up call. That's why I just
Yeah.
stay awake. You know what I mean? I just make it simple. I just stay awake. I don't want to. I don't want to get no job in no big ass company. Start shitting on black folks. Then they get that email like, yeah, he touched Sarah incorrectly 5 years ago. Now all your goddamn bosses will be like, hey, Steven, go home, cut your hair off, nigga. It's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely over.
It's definitely over. You know what I mean? And then when the white society don't want you no more, then you want to come back to us. Then you want to come
Yeah.
back and fight your power.
We don't want you. You already traded.
You know what? You already
Yeah,
chose your
went to the
side.
other side.
Yeah, you want to come back over here with your damn fist up? Nah, it's too
Yeah.
late, nigga.
Or when it's one of they sons, daughters, cousins, auntie, granny, then they
See,
want to come back.
so you be in a position where, yeah, police brutality is bad, but we need to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps. I mean, he shouldn't have got out the car. I mean, you start making all these excuses.
Yeah.
So your cousin get his damn brains blown out. Now you're like, hey, fuck these cops. Well, nigga, we've been telling you these cops ain't shit. You know what I mean? So my purpose while I'm on this earth, because my family owns a funeral home here in Sacramento, and one of the biggest things I see is people having like unfulfilled dreams, or people wishing their family members kind of wishing the person would have done this or done that. And it just lets me know, like, it connects me with my mortality. Like, we're not going to be here forever. You know what I mean? And I'm
Right.
hearing obituaries getting read, and I'm thinking, interesting list of things that this person did. But for me, I want to change the world in a way, one way or the other. Not just take care of my family, which is a given. You got to take care of your family. You got to love your kids. You got to communicate with your kids. Do the best that you can. It's hard for a lot of us who didn't have fathers or didn't have stable homes. So we're kind of teaching ourselves how to be good parents on the go. So that's important. But ultimately, like, how did you affect the world? You know what I mean? How did you, when you leave here, what kind of imprint will you have that people can look at and be inspired by? You know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely. So I appreciate you coming on, sister. I
Thank you for
hope
having
you
me.
sell 1,000,000 books. I hope you keep telling your story. I know it seems like you're a little shy and you're a little reserved, but people can learn from what you went through. You know what I mean? Because if I was you, shit. I'll be on a book tour telling these kids, hey, this shit can happen to you. This shit, nobody, no, none of our, I'm making jokes and shit, but none of us are exempt from that type of treatment.
Right.
And there are several versions of Paris, Texas, all throughout the United States. And I think
Right.
what they depend on is our silence. What they depend on is us not fighting back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
salute to you, sister, for fighting back and excuse me, and really taking control of your narrative. So
Thank you.
everybody, this is Shaquanda Cotton. Tell
Yeah.
everybody where they can get your book.
My book can be purchased on Amazon, Lulu, and Barnes and Noble.
And what's the name of the book again?
It's called Memoir of a Teacher Slapping Bitch. I am Shaquanda Cotton.
That's dope. I like the cover. I like the name. That's some catchy shit
Thank
right
you.
there. So everybody,
Thank
this is Shaquanda Cotton. She has a brand new book out talking about the injustices that she's had to deal with. Let this be an example. Like if you had to go through something, regardless, it could be with this system, it could be being molested, it can be domestic violence. Like take control of your narrative. Like on some real shit, Shaquanda, stress kills.
you. Right.
Stress kills. Depression is real. Like these are real things that people have to go through. And sometimes it's simply because they bottle up whatever has happened to them, not understanding that there's a million people who've been through something similar. You know what I mean?
Right.
And who knows what you can do to help them out. So this has been another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. I thank you guys for tuning in. You know, I make a lot of jokes and try to make things funny, but this was a serious situation that this sister probably still dealing with to a degree, but she's taking some of the power back by controlling her own narrative. And I appreciate that and I respect that. This has been another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you don't subscribe to the channel, man, you playing. I got it popping over there. No, I ain't rapping. No, I ain't talking about entertainment or all kind of bullshit. But come to your boy for the knowledge. You want to hear a great interview? You want to hear some dialect about what your people go through and some inspiration? Come to my YouTube channel. You want to hear some information about history? Learn why you all fucked up in Sometimes as black folks, we don't even know why we crazy. You're crazy for a reason. Shit. My last name Anderson. That ain't no African shit. Like we stolen slaves around this motherfucker. We got to come to grips with that, okay? That we've been stolen and brought here. So that's why you gotta tote your Bible, but read some other shit too. Like read about your history, read about things that have happened, so you can know that her situation and other situations is nothing more than history repeating itself. And Paris, Texas, I'm sure, Shaquanda, I read this book called um, Sundown Towns, where it talks about thousands of cities in America that at one time were all white. Now, of course, we can kind of suspect that to be true, but what they did to make sure these towns were all white, they would put signs at the beginning of the city that said, anybody black, you got to be out of this goddamn town by sundown, or we're going to kill your ass. A lot of them had bells. The bell would ring at sundown. If you a nigga, you got to get out of there. If a black family moved in, they would shit on your front porch. They would put signs on your front porch. They throw shit through your window. They would strategically fuck with your kids in school. So I bring that up because when I see cities like Paris, Texas, I'm sure it was a fucking sundown town at one point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure it was a city that was all white purposely. Like some of these towns ain't all white because black folks just don't know about it. Nah,
Yeah.
it's all white because they make sure our asses stay out of it. But what we need to do, like this sister, we need to be bold and say, nah, I'm not going to accept how you going to treat me. You know what I mean? So I went on a tangent, but anyways, thank you everybody for listening to the show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You listen to it on one of the digital platforms. Please remember to leave a review. It'll help me out. Please and thank you. So this has been another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. We out.